Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
I start off by talking about the redwood tree. The redwood tree is the oldest tree in the world, some as old as 1,200 years old. It's the tallest tree, some measuring over 370 meters. And the most amazing thing about the redwood tree, it grows in loose soil. So the question then would be, how does it survive the elements, the harsh conditions in California? But the secret of the redwood tree lies underground. You see, the redwood tree has roots that do not go downwards, but go across. And immediately the root encounters another root, it not only embraces, but forms a permanent bond, such that every tree in the forest is connected with every other tree directly or indirectly. And that is the secret of the redwood tree. Its strength is derived from the unity amongst other trees. I think this is a perfect analogy about our lives. Our lives are as strong as the people around us, the systems we've created. But today, I want to talk about the relationship we have with ourselves, the relationship you have with yourself and the relationship I have with myself. Because I believe that our strength is derived from how aligned we are as a person, various aspects of ourselves. What is our relationship with these aspects? And so, without much ado, I want to take you through a body map and where we'll be able to look at various aspects and see what we can do to improve on them. I want to start with our identity. What is your identity? Who are you at your core? And so your identity is going to be represented by your stomach. Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? It's important to know what your strengths are, because you lean onto your strengths and you mitigate against your weaknesses. You do not want to know your weaknesses so that then you can define yourself with them. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? And by taking stock of the strengths and weaknesses, then you're able to know who it is that you probably want to have around you at this point so that they can help you to go to that future. When you know who you are, then you're very conscious with the environment and the foundation that you're creating for yourself now. Because every day is a step towards where you want to go. When you really know who you are, then you surround yourself with partners, networks, friends that are able to help you embody what it is that you want to become. When you really know who you are, then you're even generous with who you are, with your strengths, with your strengths. Because then it's not about competition. The end does not justify the means. When you know who you are, you do not try to be in control of every aspect of your life. And so it's very key to understand who you are at your core. The next area that we shall look at is your foundation, that's represented by your feet and your legs. So the question to ask is, how do you stand in your world? How stable are you in your world? How grounded are you in your world? What gives you stability? What gives you insecurity? How safe are you? How much do you trust the process of life? Are you fearful? And if you are, chances are that you blame other people for your circumstances. If you're fearful, there's a high likelihood that you could embody certain aspects or traits that do not endear you to people. You could be greedy or you could hoard because you don't believe that You don't believe in the process of life, that tomorrow is going to be okay, that tomorrow is going to take care of itself. So your security is very important. And the operative word here is fear, because you could live in the safest place in the world and yet not feel secure. So how safe do you feel? The other area that we shall be looking at is your center of connection, represented by your sexual organs. After all, it's through a connection that we create a baby. So the question then to ask yourself about this area of your life is, what and who are you connecting to? And what are you creating in the process? What's your relationship with yourself? What's your relationship with food? What's your relationship with money? And as an addiction therapist, I can tell you that every one person who's struggling in this area is because they've disconnected with other areas of their lives. So what's your sense of belonging? And when I talk about connection and relationships, it's also about creativity. How creative are you? You don't have to be an artist. You can be creative in the way you talk. You can be creative in the way you work. You can be even as creative with what you cook. So again, the question to ask about this area is, who and what are you connecting with, and what are you creating in the process? So it calls for a lot of being intentional. It calls for being intentional, so that then you can create that which you want to create. The other area that I want to look at is the center of your emotional consciousness, and this is your heart. So the question to ask is, who and what do you love? Remember, your arms are part of your heart. So what are you holding on to? Are you holding on to forgiveness and forgiveness? Are you holding on to resentment? Because to the extent that your hands are free, then you're able to receive even more. So how do you nurture yourself? How do you nurture your relationships? How do you nurture your finances? How do you nurture your talents and skills? How do you nurture your mind? How do you ensure that your mind is healthy? So there's a lot to do with nurturing when you think about your heart. So and also the question is, how kind are you? How generous are you? On the other hand, you could also be over generous, where you sacrifice at your own detriment. So that's an area to look at when you think in terms of your heart. The other area that I want us to look at is your center of communication, represented by your throat. How do you speak? Are you able to articulate your needs and desires, your deepest needs and desires? Are you able to put your feelings into words? Do you speak your truth? What is your truth? Is your no a full sentence? Are you able to, what are your boundaries? Are you empowered to be able to say no? Is no a full sentence where you're concerned? And then the other area that I want us to look at is the area of your vision in life. And this is represented by your eyes and your ears. So are you able to listen to the small voice? What's your intuition like? What's your vision? If you were to draw your vision, how does it look like? What's the environment? Who are the people around you? What are you hearing? And what are you doing on a day-to-day basis when you get to this vision? Because until you can see it, you cannot accomplish it. You cannot achieve it. Are you able to see the patterns in your life, good or bad? And this is an area, and what's your imagination? This is an area of your life where you're required to have the capacity to see life at various levels and be able to analyze that information correctly. The other area that we are going to look at is your area of inspiration, represented by your head. What are you seeing? Who inspires you? What inspires you? What's your relationship with your guidance system? If it's God, Who is God to you? Is it an old man who sits somewhere who smiles at you from time to time? Or is it a policeman waiting for you to do wrong so that they may be able to lock you up? Or is God an all-encompassing presence that is in and within you and part of who you are? And when you understand this guidance system, then you're able to even know what complete joy is all about. So those are the areas that you need to be able to look at and rate yourself. And so now I want us to go through the affirmations for these areas that I've talked about. The one for your identity, this is what you say. I accept myself completely. I am able to digest my life. I feel great purpose and passion for my life. I easily manifest my desires. I am free from the need to be completely in control of all of my life. I am free from power struggles. I am non-judgmental of myself and others. And then for the affirmations for your foundation, this is what it is. I am rooted in life and in myself. I am stable, safe, and secure. I love my body and trust in its wisdom. My future is financially abundant. I am peaceful, protected, and secure. Then the affirmations for your center of connections is as follows. I am surrounded by relationships that feel good. I like to feel pleasure in my body. My emotions are perfectly balanced. I am free from any emotional connection to food. I am free to deal with every emotion without alcohol. I am free from eating through boredom. I feel complete peace from within. I love myself exactly as I am right now. Then the affirmations for your center of communication that we said is represented by your throat is, I express myself easily and easily. I express myself freely and easily. I can communicate my thoughts clearly and effectively. I express myself in loving ways. I am happy in silence. I will speak up when a situation is unacceptable to me. I am happy to tell others how I feel. I am always understood. And then the affirmations for your vision, center of vision, imagination, is I am perfectly attuned to my vision. I move towards my vision with clarity and purpose. I trust whatever comes to me is for my greatest joy and good. I trust my intuition. My imagination is blissful. My vision is powerfully understood. And then now, for your center of inspiration, represented by your head, the affirmations are, I am worthy of God's love. God is loving and kind. I am an extension of God. I trust that I'm loved unconditionally. I trust myself and I trust others. I am one with all of creation. I'm consciously living my divine purpose. My personal intentions and desires are in alignment with God's will. I repeat that. My personal intentions and desires are in alignment with God's will.